Hello, I am David Cade, the CEO of the American Health Law Association. Each year, the Board of Directors approves a slate of esteemed individuals selected by the Fellows Coordinating Council as AHLA Fellows. These longtime members have shown a commitment to the association through their participation as speakers, authors, mentors, and leaders. They are regarded as one of the top health law professionals in the legal community, and all have been actively practicing in AHLA and the health law profession for 15 or more years. While the bios for these new fellows are posted on AHLA's website, it is just a snapshot of their many accomplishments. I want to give you the chance to hear from them personally and learn more about why they deserve the Fellows honor. The 2023 Fellows class includes 8 exceptional individuals. Today, I have the distinct honor to be speaking with Mark Bonanno. Mark, how are you doing today?
Good morning, David. I'm doing well, and good morning from the West Coast. Good afternoon over on the East Coast.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you in person. I think January 2020, just before everything went sideways.
And now we're back.
Yes, we are. That's a good thing.
Connecting virtually for now, but in person soon.
Yeah.
So I want to start off and ask, how does it feel to be an AHLA Fellow?
Aside from the part where you start to feel a little too old, it's a huge honor. Everything connected to AHLA, whether it's, being chair of a practice group, joining the board of directors, it's all been an honor to give back to the association that's, given us health lawyers so much. So to be named as a fellow, it's kind of icing on the cake. It's a huge honor.
And very well deserved, Mark. It's very well deserved.
Thank you.
So for the folks who'll be listening, there'll be some contemporaries, and one of the audiences we know we reach are those who are deciding to go to law school or other professional pathways, beginning their careers. And so what I want to know is, why did you go to law school, and why did you select health law as a career area?
The short story is I worked in healthcare before law school. I had gotten a master's in public health. I worked for an HMO back in Boston area. And when I moved out to Portland, Oregon, I was working as an underwriter for a health plan. And on the way home from work one evening, I pulled by the local law school. I bumped into the director of admissions. She handed me an application and encouraged me to apply. And I, stared hard at that blank wall, as you do as a young person, and like, do I want to be an underwriter for the next 40 years? And decided to go to law school, and the rest is history from there.
And the hook to health law started before law school.
That's right. Yeah, I always had an interest. I was a biology nerd in my college days. Always had an interest in healthcare. Went on to get my public health degree and worked in the industry. And then really started thinking hard about policy, healthcare policy, in an avenue for that. For me, in terms of my decision making, really was looking at law school as a way to do that.
Great. And as you said, the rest is history.
Yep.
So how has AHLA helped you remain connected with your health law colleagues?
Oh boy, that's kind of the key to AHLA, that what I've always referred to kind of as that professional stickiness. As you work your way up the ranks of, leadership roles within the association, you make these connections to folks across the country. And particularly for someone like me, who's a healthcare lawyer out in Oregon, having access to folks who are in Washington, D.C., Chicago, New York, just all over the country, it was such a good way to kind of really broaden your knowledge about healthcare law. And you had contacts and folks who, if you called them, they were willing to give you 5, 10, 20 minutes on the phone. It really kind of created that, that stickiness for you as a healthcare lawyer, and to have those contacts across the country that I still have today, many going back, quite a long time, which is pretty impressive for any association that you might belong to.
Well, that's good to hear. And it's that sort of confirmation of the importance of building community and how it carries on throughout our careers. And so let me take you then to, if you were having a conversation with a new AHLA member and they asked how to get involved in the association, what would you tell them?
I think the first thing is to be patient, and then look for opportunities. It takes a while in any association to kind of get a feel for what the association's about, where you can plug in, volunteer within a practice group. I think that's one of the unique things about AHLA that I've always valued, is that practice group structure. The young professionals, tremendous group of people, really always, anytime I ever interact with the young professionals group, always gives me hope for the future, which is really important today. But get involved, volunteer, and if you have an assignment, just follow through, be reliable, and things will happen. You learn a lot about leadership skill volunteering through the AHLA leadership track. It's a tremendous skill set that you can add to your toolbox.
That's very good advice. Very good advice. So in the spirit of advice, as you think about where you are now, what you've learned along the way, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough one, David, because you're always talking like, I wish I knew this when I was 20 years old or 30 years old or 40 years old. I think, having two kids that are one is in college, one's about to be heading off to college in a year. Just the things I want to instill in younger folks. And if I was going to ask myself and look back, I would say it's okay to kind of be bold, be smart, have a good sense of humor, which I think those are the things that I value as values. But if someone criticizes you for that, or criticizes you for who you are, then I think you've got an obligation to yourself to either ignore them, distance yourself from them, or just flat out, work like the Dickens to prove them wrong. So, if someone's trying to put you down for who you are, don't take that to heart. Go the other way.
Yeah, it sounds like, you're sort of amplifying not only work hard, but the other is confidence, that self-confidence, so that people can't tear you down. That's very strong advice for folks, for all of us, not just the younger folks, but today. That's really powerful. So as you think back over your career, and I know you're not done. This is not the question to say, all right, Mark, it's all over. Think back over your career. Well, this is a point in time as we're celebrating your fellowship. I want to know, what has been the accomplishment you're most proud of, and why?
I guess I got to come back to my kids. It's okay to have bold, smart, funny kids. And the why of that is, I really look to them as the future. We're in a strange time right now in this, and I know, everyone, history kind of repeats itself, but we're in this odd culture of contempt right now, and we need folks who, like our younger generation, that can work to build bridges, solve problems, and do so and build consensus on issues. And I really do see the younger generation, that younger mindset, really in need of kind of stepping up and bringing their ability to see the future and make change for the future. That's so important today. So that's what I look at. And I'm really looking to my kids to kind of make things better. So puts a lot on their shoulders, of course.
I'm sure they're up to the task. You've
I don't know. They don't have a lot to do with their parents anymore, but they seem to be on a good path for sure.
Something tells me, though, that you've planted a lot of seeds and you will be pleased.
Yeah, I mean, there's those teenage years that are tough, David. But you know, when you get on the other side of that, you're like, wow, this is pretty impressive. So yeah.
Perspective. So in the legal profession, can you share with us the traits you feel are most important in being an effective health lawyer?
I think the most important thing, and you know, when I do informational interviews for folks coming out of law school, or even before law school, it's really understand the industry that you're working in, no matter what it is. And if it's healthcare, you know, have a good working knowledge of that industry. And again, it's not rocket science. You know, you kind of got to know the basic difference between Medicare and Medicaid, as an example. And you kind of need to know what HIPAA means. It's not just an acronym. So that kind of stuff, have a good working knowledge of the industry. And that helps you to see the other connections that go on when you engage as a lawyer, no matter where you are as a lawyer in the industry. Having an understanding of that and able to see the connections between different, you know, statutory programs and things like that is really helpful.
Good, thank you. And as we come to close, one of the things I know it's important, you shared before, is balance in our lives. So what do you do for fun? What do you do to have balance?
Me being a health lawyer isn't fun. That's why I get into this. An ever-changing field. What's not fun about that? So yes, balance really is important. And I think that's, you know, something that, you know, you need to do, to talk about, no matter where you are, whether you're an employer or manager, in a company or in a law firm. It's really important to encourage that balance. For me, you know, I thump away on an upright bass and a couple of bluegrass bands. That is just a huge disconnect for me from everything professional, and just a ton of fun. That's kind of my personal individual thing. And then 20 years ago, my wife and I were windsurfers before kids. We invested heavily in our kids. We gave up windsurfing for a while, and now we're trying crazily to do something called wing foiling together. And it's a hoot. It's really hard, especially 20 years later. But it's fun. And it's really important to have that kind of play time outside of what you do professionally. So yeah, definitely.
It is, and yet, as you describe it, I'm thinking, oh my, do you have insurance?
It's a good thing. Yes, exactly.
Well, Mark, congratulations to you again. It is truly an honor, and I'm glad to have had a moment to celebrate this with you and to lift this up. And I'm looking forward to catching up and seeing you very soon.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that in-person time, annual meeting too, David. So thank you. And thank you for your time today.